Literally could not be less professional. So
Uh, as we went live, I knocked over an entire studio light onto the ground, and it is just on the carpet. So give me 1 sec. I don't want to burn my house down. I'll be
okay.
right back. So
Sorry.
Austin will be joining us soon. But Enrique, do you want to take it away and let everybody know what's going on?
Yeah. There goes Alex. All right, guys. Thanks for joining. Let me get the chat going. All right. Perfect. All right. And I don't even know where Alex went. Austin should be joining soon enough. So yeah, things are a little crazy right now. Looks like we just had a big old dump, and I'm not sure if it's done. Here, let me share my screen. I'm not sure this is done for now. Definitely not done for later.
Okay, I fixed it. My
Oh,
house
there
is
you
not
are.
on. My house is not on fire, so
All right,
crisis averted. But I need some coffee
good.
for this.
I was just looking at a couple charts while you're out, and I don't think. I mean, I don't know if we're done with this dump. Maybe. But if we just kind of look at it any other time scale, yeah, guys, it looks like Ethereum. There's really no reason why it won't go down to 1150. We're pretty much already down there anyways. And then if that doesn't hold, then we're probably then looking at 1073, 70, yeah, 1073. And if that doesn't hold, we're going 1000. Yeah, this just kind of came out of nowhere. Alex, did we have some news going? Yeah, no Santa Rally. Uh-oh, I lost Alex. He really is having issues with internet, I think. Yeah, man, no Santa Rally, I don't think. But we'll see. Alex is literally frozen. All right, hopefully he can jump back in a sec. So yeah, we'll just look at some charts while we wait for the guys. Yeah, this doesn't Santa's giving call this year. Yeah. God, I don't know. Maybe this dump is over for now, but I just
My internet is wigging out. My bad.
no, you're good now. You're good now. Kind of thought we had more issues last week, so no, I think you're good, man.
Whew, that was
Yeah.
close. Yeah, so my internet the past few days has been just crazy way out here in the country, and I actually had to reschedule some AMAs. I felt so bad about it, but like, you know, I'm gonna have to figure out some like redundant internet way out
Something.
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because it's happened to you more than once, and I know you go live a lot, so yeah, you're gonna have to do it, man.
yeah,
I don't
but
know
there's no
what the
there are no
options are.
options. So I'm waiting for Elon with Starlink. Other satellite services though, they aren't fast enough. They have too much latency. So us like having a normal conversation would be really hard over satellite because of like a 1 second
Oh,
delay. Um,
painful. So
yeah,
painful.
but
Yeah.
cellular is fine, but the nearest cell tower is 2 hours or 2 miles away. Um, so I'm at the mercy of that one cell tower. So if they do any maintenance on it, like my internet's screwed.
Mm, not good, man. Not good. All right, guys. So I don't know what to say. This is not good. Alex, was there some major news event that just came out like an hour ago or something like that, or
You know,
no?
I don't know. I
Like
literally just got
what?
situated trying to get everything working, and right as I got on the call with you, you're like everything's tanking. So
I wonder if it was Asia woke up, right, and they just decided to start dumping. But I mean, it's like what? It's Saturday there now, right? It's Saturday morning in Asia, so it's like
I
the markets are not even open. It's a Saturday. Yeah, I don't know. There may have been something from I don't know. Like I know that what started everything, guys,
yeah.
because a lot of people think that what happened is this major dump today was because of good old Binance, but no, I think what really happened here, I'm gonna stop sharing, is that the EBC announced this morning while we were sleeping here in the States that they are going to finally become as hawkish as Jerome Powell and the Fed. And it's the first time that the EBC has stated that they're going to take a very hawkish approach to inflation because inflation is much worse in Europe than it is here. And so that's really why the market started tanking. So it's a kind of the financing didn't help, obviously, with the reports coming from their auditors saying we're out of here.
Right.
So that obviously didn't help. But I just want to make it crystal clear. It was the macro causing this dump. not Binance. The Binance thing made it worse. So when you have two events like that on the same day, well, we're seeing the effects of it, and it's really bad. This is bad, guys. Like I'm trying to
It's
come
going
up with
fast, dude. Ethereum is down 8% in the last
8%.
24 hours.
And it had a bad day yesterday too. Right?
And BNB, dude, BNB's down to 230. Oh god.
230.
Half my portfolio is paired with BNB. It's not going to be looking pretty.
Oh yeah. Not good for the MDB shops.
MDB,
yeah.
drip. Oh man.
Yeah, man, it's a bit gross. And then yeah, just looking at BNB, that's where the story gets really weird. Carol, screen share again. With BNB, where it's almost like the TA knows that maybe something's up, right? Because of the fact that if you look at BNB, and I know I've talked about this before, but I'm going to bring it up again. If we look at the daily, check this out, Alex. Yeah, there's some scrubby kind of resistance here at 183, I guess, from right here from this point back in June. But really, the next level of resistance that we could probably say, okay, that's okay. It's still pretty scrubbish. It's over here around 138. 138 is the next level of resistance that we can actually truly trust. And after that, and it's scrubby. After that, it's $48. It's 48 freaking dollars. And I know that early this summer I was laughed at when I said it, that was a possibility, but I think we're starting to see it. And so we got one level of resistance at 185, and then another one around 140, and then see you at 48. So in order for something like that to happen, because something crazy happened. So yeah, so that's where we are. And it's, Crypto Knight's saying it's FUD about BNB. I don't know, man. Crypto Knight, go check out that interview that he had. I don't know if it was CNBC or MSN. I can't remember what station it was. But the lady asked him, like, hardcore, do you have the reserves? Do you have the 2.1 billion, whatever that number is? And he didn't answer the question. He just skirted the question, kept saying, your funds are safe. Your funds are safe. Okay, CC, do you have the funds? Your funds are safe. Your funds are safe. So like that was, it's all over Twitter. You can check it out for yourself, but that did not look good. That did not look good. So hopefully it's FUD. I'm with you, man, because we all need to cheer for them. Because if Binance goes down, we're going to go back 3 years. I don't know, 2 years, 4 years. So we got to cheer for them. We got to cheer for them. So,
man,
yeah. Alex, do you think it's FUD, or what are your thoughts?
I
Nate.
I don't know. I think I mentioned this to you. Yeah, exactly, Nate. That's how it works. Hey, what's up, Lady Boss Nat? We got Pocket Aces, Lady Boss
Pocket
Nat.
Aces. Hey, Lady Boss.
Yeah, Nate, Crypto Knight, Clash,
David,
bunch of great community members in here today. But yeah, I think I think what I mentioned to you earlier in my Discord server when you were talking about the price of BNB, that I think this is potentially, this might be crazy, but retaliation from like FTX and all of the politicians and regulators that they funneled money to, and now they're going to be seeking some kind of revenge potentially. This is my conspiracy theory time, but maybe they're trying to snap back at CZ and Binance a little bit. And who knows, maybe the whole thing is one giant kabuki theater. And they want us to think that there are these tensions with these different parties and everything, but maybe it's just one big sham, one big act that we're watching to, like with our political system in the United States, we've got this like weird two-party dichotomy. And even our founding fathers said, don't ever devolve into a two-party system. We went to a two-party system quickly, and we've been stuck that way because what happens is that two-party system is really a one-party system. It's two sides of the same coin, and it creates this false dichotomy, and it makes people like take sides and think that, oh, now I'm winning. Okay, now you guys are winning. Now I'm winning. But really, it's the fat cats in Washington and the central bankers who are winning constantly the whole time. And they're all on the same team. As George Carlin said, it's one big club and you're not in it. So I think that's kind of maybe what's happening with FTX. Like they want us to think, CZ and Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX were like enemies, but maybe they're both actors. Who knows? That's
Who
my
knows?
theory. I think CZ plays like the Chinese like super smart mogul gangster, and SBF is like the like autistic savant whiz kid, and he came out of nowhere. He's got all these political ties. He funneled like probably hundreds of millions of dollars as more and more is getting uncovered to politicians. Some of it illegally. Like I think he was facing charges for doing it under the table and hiding a lot of it. And a lot of that money also just disappeared from FTX. Who knows where it went? And then like see his involvement in this convenient for me, where he sends a few tweets and like, and then it all implodes, and it all just seemed very, very like, I don't know, very planned out the way it all went down. And then at the same time, it created the regulatory scrutiny, I think, that our government wanted. It gave them the opportunity to come in with a heavy hand because they say this is unacceptable. It's egregious what was happening here. But they were all, most of them were making money from it. And so I think FTX took the fall, SBF took the fall, and then politicians made out like bandits, and then they get to come in with a power grab. CZ and China, with their heavy influence on the globalist stage and also in the United States, I believe, has an arm through Binance and CZ. And I think that might have been at play as well to so I think there's a lot going on, and we could speculate all day, and I might sound like a total crazy person. It could be all be unrelated, but I'm an open book, so I'll tell you my crazy conspiracies and how I see things connecting together. But yeah, so I think they're going to try to come in right now with all this stuff coming in to put the boot down on us and really try to grab back a bunch of the power from the people from the decentralized financial markets, because that's not good for them. And they really are probably going to use this to push CBDCs really faster than we can react to.
They're here. They're already here. Yeah.
Yeah.
CBDCs are definitely here. Yeah, we'll see how that rolls out and how quickly, but it's the beta's here. We know that for sure. So yeah, man, interesting stuff for sure. Nate's talking about the DXY. Yeah, DXY should be doing very well with all this happening. So I expect DXY to probably do pretty well next week, but we'll see. We'll see if we get some kind of like reprieve rally, just because we've dropped so much and the markets have just gotten crushed, the traditional markets for the last 2 days. So who knows, maybe we'll get some reprieve next week. But yeah, that Santa rally's looking really iffy, super iffy. It's not even close. Yeah.
And Nate said CZ is from Canada, and yeah, he was born in China though, so he is Chinese and Canadian. An interesting combination there, especially with, I don't know if you guys have been following Chinese and Canadian political issues, and Justin Trudeau at first was all very anti-China and their Chinese Communist Party and their antics and how they run things over there. But then after he met with the Chinese officials, he quickly changed his tune in a very bizarre kind of way, and even publicly went on record saying like, I wish I could run Canada like China, because if you have a dictatorship, you can just do whatever you want. And then he's like, I actually really envy with the system they've got there. And this was when he was doing a bunch of really crazy stuff, like shutting down access to people's bank accounts that were protesting against some of his edicts. So I don't know, China and Canada, I think, have some interesting ties as well. Especially the past few years, things have been really weird.
It's been concerning to see that, and you're seeing more of that across the globe. So yeah, that's been concerning for sure. And then Canada's just become so anti-crypto. You are not allowed to own more than $30,000 of crypto if it's not. Listen to this. This is really funny. Obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they threw in Litecoin and Bitcoin Cash into the mix. So it's almost like they said, okay, we'll just pick the first two alts to go along with ETH and BTC that were available on Coinbase. Remember, for all those years, it was three, right? It was Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. Then they added Bitcoin Cash around December 17. I remember that because that was like a big deal. And it was like, oh my gosh, there's 4 choices now, right? Instead of 3. So those are the 4 that you can, if you're in Canada, you have to have those 4 if you want more than $30,000 in crypto, which is just insane to me. Like that's so far from, in my opinion, freedom. So that
So
concerns me when I hear stories
wait,
like
say
that.
that you have to have those. Say that again.
If
What do
you
you?
want to own more than $30,000 in crypto or Canadian dollars in crypto, it has to be those 4.
That doesn't even make sense to me. What?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
And they
not how
just
this
banned,
that's not how
and
this works, governments. Like this is decentralized. It doesn't involve you. Like that's the whole
and they
point.
and they just banned leverage trading too. So obviously I would not be happy there. So, and there it
apparently
is. There's just dumped again.
apparently we've
Let
got
me
a bunch of George Carlin fans in the audience. Yeah, George Carlin, he is hilarious and writes about he wrote about a lot of interesting concepts in terms of human freedoms and liberties and power structures and all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm a George Carlin fan as well.
Oh, he's
Um, and,
hilarious.
and
Guys, this
classic.
is turning into a dump party, by the way. This is literally a dump live.
Holy crap, dude!
Yeah.
BNB is down like 5 or 6% in the past hour.
And look at Ethereum. Now Ethereum is starting to get really close to that support of
My God.
back in the 28th of November. So let's see if that holds first. That's around 1153. We're just a few dollars away from that. And if that doesn't hold, then see you at 1070, really, 1073. So let's see if this holds right here. This could hold right here. This actually will be interesting to watch. If not, if it doesn't hold, then may make sense to open up a short right now. But God, this is just crazy. Yeah,
That's not great because my drip that's paired with BNB is now down to 91 cents a drip. 91-cent drip, everybody. Ah, damn it.
well, what was that at its highest point?
Like 130 plus 100,
Mm.
like it peaked maybe even above that. Man. All right, Christmas
Alex, do
movie
you have any movie?
recommendation.
Yeah, any movie recommendations?
Christmas movies, I don't know. It's a Wonderful Life. That's always a good feel good classic to watch. Speaking of evil central bankers, that guy, the bad guy in It's a Wonderful Life, trying to take over their bank and like ruin everybody's lives and everything. And then you got the main character, what's that actor's name? Jimmy Stewart, I think, coming in and saving the. I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I don't know what happens, guys. Check it out for yourself. It's a 1950s movie. It's like one of the top rated movies of all time. If you haven't seen it yet, you got to go see it. But yeah, it's a classic Christmas time movie from where I come from. So yeah, It's a Wonderful Life. You'll be crying tears of happiness at the end and hugging your family and stuff. It's a good one.
Yeah, those evil central bankers. It's funny when growing up, I was taught that they were like the nice ones, the good ones, the ones you look up to and can trust. And now I've become so weary of them. It's just crazy. It's
And
so crazy.
and you see like and a part of you is like you watch some of these like the Federal Reserve presidents like at the different regions and things like that, and like some of the things they say, I'm like, that's yeah, you're right. Like I agree with them on a lot of stuff, and some of the times I think some of them, like, that person seems like a decent person. Maybe they're just like caught up in this like system and they're just working within the boundaries of what that system is. And same even with like Jerome Powell and the presidents, like, yeah, you could say they're the evilest of the evil, but maybe they've inherited this system and it's not something that you can change right now. But I don't know. I could be wrong. They could be straight reptilian shapeshifters in humanoid disguises, but and be excellent actors. The AI generated with deepfake. I don't know, but like I don't want to say like they're evil because maybe they're just like in a position holding an office kind of that has been set up since 1913 December 23rd, and like if you try to break that system too fast, we all suffer, and our quality of lives drops precipitously for a while. We would go through kind of like I don't even know what it would be like, but it would be ugly for a while. It could even take years to recover and rebuild something from that. And then who knows what's going to fill that void? It could be not something benevolent like we're all hoping for. It could be something much, much worse, right?
Well, no, it'd probably just be like another global power or a new world order kind of thing, because that's what has happened over history, right? First it was like the Dutch, then it was the British. Now I guess it's the US, but it's like the US slash China. So, what's the next one going to be? Who knows?
I mean,
And will it
my
happen in our
guess is
lifetime?
China. China's been positioning itself, and so has a lot of the globalist governing bodies
What
have
is it
been
called?
positioning.
BRICS?
Yeah, BRICS.
Yeah.
They've all been kind of positioning China to be maybe the next gold-backed world reserve currency,
Yeah, the yuan.
because they've been accumulating gold, I think, faster than anybody. And if you watch, there's some infographics showing the amount of accumulation of gold by China over time compared to all the other countries. And at one point, they saw what was happening, and it took off exponential, left everybody in the dust, and they kept it that rate now for years. They have so much gold, and our gold reserves, I believe, are pretty dried up, I think, compared to what it used to be. And then also it's not tied to our currency anymore. We're on the petrodollar, and
Since the
we can
70s. Yeah.
just print that at will, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, back in the 70s, the U.S. had to do it under Nixon. They had to stop being back to gold, because by not being back to gold, you can now print money out of thin air at will. And right, that's why they did it. Wasn't the first time they did it. The U.S. actually did this back in the 30s or 40s. I think 30s. So it's not even new. It's just, it's just the
Well, yeah,
same crap.
1933, they made a executive order banning people from exchanging their dollars for gold. I think they just said, not right now. You can't get your gold. It's these notes no good for now. And then in 1944, I think we moved to the Bretton Woods system. And then in what was it, 1971?
Yeah, Nixon. Yeah,
Nixon, and
maybe
took us
2,
off
3. Yeah,
the
yeah.
gold reserve standard completely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
And what happened both times? Markets rallied, right? So it was good for risk on assets because it can keep printing money out of nowhere. So
that's true. But then you get the normal folks like me and my family and my neighbors and my friends working the same job we've been working, and those wages and salaries aren't keeping up with the inflation
nope.
of all of our expenses. So it's like we slowly become more destitute, most people, the middle class and below. And then over time, it's like boiling a frog, with a terrible expression and metaphor, but you just slowly raise that temperature, and you don't really realize things are heating up until it's too late and you're boiling, and you're done for. I think that's the situation that these power structures run on their citizenry, to kind of extract the wealth from their as much wealth as they can from their citizenry. And it happens very slowly, and most people don't notice it until it's too late. And then by the time everything implodes, then you got people flipping cars in the streets, or they're so beaten down and demoralized, they just kind of say, this is just how it is,
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are good points.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so we'll see. We will see what happens. But yeah, weird stuff, and weird week. And guys, be really careful. To the 19 of you guys watching, thanks for watching. Let us know if there's any topic or any token you want us to talk about. But just be really careful out there. I got scammed 2 nights ago.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, for $950. I just clicked on the wrong link. I thought I was on a site that was on my Twitter feed, and turned out to be a fake one. And I clicked on it thinking it was the right project, and it wasn't. And luckily, I had $950 or $948, I think it was, on USDT and Ethereum. And luckily that's all I had in that wallet. And this is why I always say, guys, keep as many wallets as possible, spread out your funds in case you do get scammed. It won't be because imagine if I only had one wallet.
Yeah.
like that would have really hurt. So yeah, so you just got to be really, really careful out there.
Man, I'm sorry that happened to you. That's a ton of money. 950
It
bucks, man.
was
I can, run my
950. Yeah.
business for weeks on that. That,
Yeah, it was
in
an
some,
expensive mistake.
yeah, and that's crazy, man. And in some countries that would be like 2 months salary,
That's crazy.
maybe more.
Yeah.
Sucks,
When I
dude.
figured it out, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? It's like,
Dude,
so
scammers are
dumb.
the worst, bro.
They're the worst. They're the worst. Real quick, Nate, BFR. Yeah, I noticed it did kind of come down, but for me, BFR is like a long-term hold, especially once Arbitrum gets going and after the airdrop happens. I know that it's done really well. I think when we first got into it, it was like 1.1, 1.2 million market cap. It's still at 1.6, despite the fact that it's dropped about 30% in the last couple of days. But no, I think it's a great long-term hold. I'm staking mine, so I couldn't even like sell it if I wanted to. I guess I could, but it would have been a pain in the ass. So I'm staking my BFR, and for me, that's a long-term hold. Let's see what happens. I think that's one. It could be a gem come when things get better and then the market gets better and Arbitrum really starts to take shape and blow up as we get into more of a bull run. So for me, a lot of these tokens in Arbitrum are not flips, they're not scalps, they're long-term holds, and we'll see what happens. So that for me, that's what BFR is, Nate. Okay, you're staking it too, and that's what it is for me with everything as far as Arbitrum. For me, it's a long-term hold. I think we talked about some scalp possibilities, especially with GMD at the end of the month, like we talked about last week or the week before. But it's long-term hold for me. So those are my thoughts on BFR. And I do own a decent amount of it, so I will be watching it, but not trading it. Just long-term hold. There's nothing wrong with that sometimes. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, it looks like I think you're not a journalist or you would have been banned on Twitter. Yeah, exactly.
We're probably going to get banned on Twitter for this show right now. That what we were talking about earlier, we're going to be deplatformed probably pretty quick. Talking
Well, that
like
doesn't
that.
help. It doesn't help with the algorithm. It just doesn't. So
No.
yeah. So feel free to just hit the like button right now, guys, so to help to offset the fact that the algo probably hates us right now because Alex went on his.
I know it
rant.
does. It does that. Yeah, hit the like if you can, because it really will. It will throttle down this video now because I mentioned a lot of things that I mentioned, and they YouTube transcribes everything before it like processes it fully processes it, gets a full transcription, and depending on what you talk about, they will totally like almost shadow ban your video, where only like people you directly share it with might see it. They might not recommend it at all to anybody, and that's why sometimes like I can have a video go really well, I can have a video get 0 views. Well,
It's so weird.
Maybe I'll get like a couple hundred views or something or less, but that's because that's how many people I directly shared it with, the link, and then I'll go on other accounts that I have that I'm subscribed to myself, and some that I'm not subscribed to myself, and I'm subscribed to other people in the space that I'm associated with, and I will see which videos YouTube of mine is actually recommending and which ones they're not. And it's very interesting to see that happen to some of your videos that you talk about some controversial.
Well, I remember when you did the Kyoto one, that one, the algo loved you, right?
Yeah, and I even got a UN approved stamp on that video, because this is like the UN approves this message about climate change, and I'm like, holy shit, the globalists like me. I'm in the club. Like,
yeah, you were in with
and that video is my first video that ever went viral. I mean, viral is very subjective depending on the space that you're in, but in our space, like that video went just amazing. I think
what did it get, like 30,000 or something?
20 or 30,000 views, and I think it's approaching 30,000. It may have passed it by now. I stopped keeping track, but
that's a lot.
Like, but it has like the little, it's like a YouTube widget that you don't see on every video. They custom add that onto certain videos that they either message about a controversial topic or they don't. And apparently they liked it because I was talking positively about carbon credits, even though I'm like,
right.
I see both sides of the picture there. And I did a very like objective analysis of both sides of those arguments, and they must have heard the positive things I said about like Kyoto Protocol, creating a service for industries to use to get carbon credits to offset their emissions, to get under their emissions caps, to comply with their jurisdictions under like the UN, treaties and everything. And they liked it. They're like, that's great. Here you go. Let's blow this video up and put it out everywhere. So I need to apparently just be like a globalist patsy and just be like any like message that they're pushing, I should push it, right? Blow my channel up. But no, I couldn't do that unless I actually believe what I'm saying. So
yeah, no, you don't want to do that. Hey, Alex, you didn't finish your thought process, and I think Serenity you hopped on. I think before we talked about, but you didn't finish kind of answering the question in regards to Binance. So all in all, I mean, you kind of went back and forth. Do you? Where are you? I mean, FUD, no FUD, not sure. What, you researching? You're looking at their proof of reserves?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I was responding. There's so many messages coming in. Now I'm trying to like keep up with the ones on the screen, on the chat, and what you're saying. So might be on the list of crashing Central Exchange. I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna crash. I could be totally wrong. So make sure to protect yourself however you have to.
But can you? Like if Binance goes down, like it doesn't matter where your tokens are, they're gonna get crushed. Crushed.
Yeah. I mean, your tokens will get crushed, but at least you'll still
even stables maybe.
At least they'll still be in your possession and custody if you have them in a DeFi wallet. Now
that's true.
If there's the whole question: if Binance goes down, would BNB chain go down? Would BSC go down?
BSD.
And that's a question that we all have to be concerned about as well. So I would say it'd be, in terms of importance, I would say it's being on the central exchange is the most risky. Being on the decentralized BSC network, less risky than the central exchange, I believe. And above that would be diversifying across multiple decentralized networks like Bitcoin, like Ethereum, and other EVM compatible blockchains, Avalanche and Phantom or Polygon. That's an EVM like chain that's integrated with it, but it's kind of separate as well. So that's a good one to diversify onto for security. For hedging, I should say, for minimizing risk exposure. And then also, like, don't be all. I keep sounding like I'm giving financial advice. I'm not. But what I do is I don't sit all in on any asset, even something I'm super bullish on, like Bitcoin or BNB. I try to spread it out, and same with my stable coins. Just like if one thing dies, I only lose 10% of my portfolio. Like Enrique was saying with his wallets, he spreads his stuff out to multiple wallets and accounts. I totally agree. I think that's another good way to do it. And then you have a bunch of like little baskets all, disconnected from each other. So if one gets compromised, they can't just take all of the wallets associated with that seed phrase or something like that. So no, that's excellent. Not financial advice, Enrique.
Haha. Alex, Emp, I know you know Emp. I know you know Emp well. Clash is asking, I love Emp, but I think the shares are unlocking from the farm and hurting the price. Thoughts?
Oh, sure. Absolutely. That'll absolutely cause a dip in the price. People are gonna, 21 days, their e-share unlocks and they're gonna sell it. Sure. That's absolutely going to happen in any kind of unlocking with any staked assets and any project. So always expect at least some of that to happen. And a lot of people, you can maybe time a dip on that, especially with the BNB that it's paired with dipping at the exact same time, could be for an oversold type scenario on both eShare and BNB. So you could get a double whammy there potentially.
You could. And real quick, I think it was getting to business that he's going to write BNB back up. We talked about it earlier, man. Yeah, I mean, we have some pretty scary stuff happening if resistance gets broken around 211, 216, 208. Then the next big level resistance 184. We talked about that, and the next after that's not till 138. So just be careful because things can get really ugly
I
really
remember
fast.
this summer before we got, super tight. That what BNB took a big dip. Remember that? I think it dipped under 200 for a second.
It
Uh,
did.
I was freaking out at that point.
I remember
Big
that.
time.
183.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Nate makes a really good point. And then I did want to touch on this right here, the Mazars. That is that audit. Halting proof of reserves cannot be a good sign. I mean, nowadays people believe anything and tend to overlook. This is not good, Crypto Night. I think this was part of what started the FUD this morning, was what Mazars is doing. That's just weird. I was a staff auditor for Ernst & Young in my 20s. I can assure you that when something like that happens, it's not just like a little thing or, they couldn't agree on price or something like that. Something happened. Like, that's not good. So,
Yeah.
who knows what the real story is there? Maybe we'll find out one day, maybe we won't. But good God, something's up. Something's definitely up, but hopefully it's nothing big. And what I'm hoping for, maybe I'm just being like the eternal optimist because I understand how big Binance is to crypto as a whole. I'm hoping that they're finding out really shady stuff that they did back in 17 and 18, 19 before they were this big. And it was just a wild, wild west, and they were doing things in a very, uncontrolled manner because they were just growing too fast and didn't know what the hell they're doing. I'm hoping it's that kind of stuff that they're seeing. And maybe, just maybe, that wouldn't be so bad. They pay some fine like EOS did or one of those other chains from back in 17. They pay a fine and it goes away. Maybe that's it.
Mm.
Or maybe, I mean, I think I'm being very, very optimistic, but what can you do? So we'll
Yeah.
see.
And you like, so what is it? How do you say it? Mazars or so the Mazars group or whatever sounds like an auditing firm that has traditionally dealt with traditional
Crypto.
finance.
I think they already had a
But
crypto resume. Yeah.
so they've been, they transitioned to work with like big crypto clients. I think like Binance and KuCoin to do their like proof
Correct.
of reserves. But I think
Correct.
they're like a big like company that's been around for a long before crypto.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but
No, you're right. You're right.
I'm making
But they
that
already had a
assumption.
crypto resume. Yeah. But they already had a decent resume in crypto
Yeah.
as
So
well. Yeah.
1945, they started in 1945. So they're like
Oh,
a
wow.
traditional auditing company, like Ernst and Young or something. And they're staying up at the Times, and they say, "Oh, this client will be amazing." Binance and KuCoin and these other crypto. Let's be those guys that do the auditing of their reserves and stuff. But then like this FTX thing maybe shed some light on the accounting practices in crypto, which are a little weird when you look at the ability to mint new tokens depending on which protocol it is. So if Binance is holding tokens from all these different protocols on their assets, on their books, then it's like, well, is that really worth what you're saying it's worth if somebody can go at any moment print it? And then that makes, but yeah, obviously that's a
Right.
convenient thing to look away for like the US dollar and currencies and
For
everything. And they've got
everything.
for everything. But like, so,
Yeah.
but they're all like paranoid about crypto right now. And then also like protocols are changing. Ethereum went to proof of stake. It's a different tokenomics model now. And what does that mean in terms of how Ethereum looks on the books of a company? That's a whole new ball game to figure out. How does BNB look with their nodes, and how BNB is like deflationary? Like there's like there's so much to factor in there. Maybe they're thinking, shoot, this is a little too hot right now, and nobody's really clear on this stuff, so we don't want to touch it right now. We're gonna back off for for these clients and go back to traditional finance stuff for a while until this gets sorted out and they have processes in place for how to do this that everybody agrees on. But it looks really bad to the general public, and the news blows it up out of proportion, right?
The optics are so bad,
The
and
options are so bad.
and CC's not doing himself favors in these interviews. Nate said, "I'll buy BNB." Well, if you're going to buy 48, Nate, you better have your order set because it's going to be a quick, wick.
Mm-hmm.
Boop. probably while we sleep. So make sure you have orders set. Because if it were to get to
Dude.
that, it won't last down. It won't last. It'll be seconds down there. I can assure you that. Does anyone have preferences on glue? What does that mean? I don't get it.
I think
I don't get.
I think there's an inside joke about Vino doing glue.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
if I remember from Always Sunny, Elmer's glue won't do the trick.
Okay.
You need the
There
strong
you
stuff. Yeah.
go.
Not medical advice, you know. Party
Yes,
on
yes.
though. Party
To
on.
the 23 of you watching, not medical advice. And for the record, apparently the whole not financial advice, you can stop saying it, Alex. It doesn't do anything, doesn't mean anything. Did you hear about Zach Morris and those other guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot
Yeah.
of them were
So
running pump groups though.
still, but big thing was that, like, not only is not saying not financial advice not good enough, if you post a picture of a Lambo or of a nice thing, then they take that in as saying, look at the lifestyle I have because I made, I bought into these assets that I've been telling you about. So they're even going after
Interesting.
that. You can't even show something nice. It's like, yeah.
Well, that's why
So
like I would then be like, well, okay, maybe my trading sucks, but like maybe I'm a good entrepreneur and I have successful businesses, and that's how I got my Lambos,
then
right? Like
maybe
that's
say it like that. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I would
Yes.
totally do that. And until, like are you technically a financial advisor? I know are you a CPA?
No, I'm not. I'm what's called like an EA, enrolled agent. I'm like all these things that are like very much focused on like taxes, and that's it. My employees all have it. We all have the same certification of having what's called a P10, which allows us to prepare income tax returns on a federal and state level. But no, I don't have a CPA. I have no desire to get a CPA because then I would have to get all this training and keep the training going every year. No
Yeah,
desire to do that. We're just going to keep building our business. We're up to 1,600 customers. We built it organically through word of mouth. And also, when you're a CPA, you get more of kind of like the very like show me a lot of love kind of customers that need a lot of attention, a lot of time. Dude, we got 1,600 customers. We're busy enough as it is during tax season. We're already working our ass off. I don't need customers that like require too much love and attention. So yeah, I have no desire to get any other certification other than the minimum I need to be okay with the IRS.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. I think that makes so much sense. And if you don't need it, why you don't need it. And now you can show pictures of your Lambos because you've got 1,600 customers. It sounds like you have a very
I don't.
successful tax auditing or tax
Yeah.
accounting business. So
Well, it took what? We're in year 14, but no, I don't own a Lambo. I
yeah,
want one. I would love to get one, but I don't own one. And my wife made it clear we get a Lambo, it means we have to get um, a more expensive house. She said, so I don't know. I don't see that happening. Wow, Venmo with a long one. Are you reading this? Show that Amazon.
yeah, and I think
I don't
that
know.
stuff's
I don't know
okay
what that is.
because the financial advice, I believe, it only deals with
Mm,
securities,
mm-hmm.
and like commodities, forex, things of those natures that are in regulated financial markets. Now, with businesses and things like that, I do believe there is a Department of Commerce and things with laws around that kind of thing. And like there's you got to be careful about deceptive marketing practices when you're selling something in a business. But other than that, like I think you can be like, hey, I'll show you how to build this business I've built. And if you succeed, you succeed. If you don't, you don't. Like it's a small business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think actually government encourage small business, anything to push small business development. So in terms of like the government getting mad at you for selling a course teaching people how to start a business and pay taxes to the government with those businesses, and file the LLCs to the states and everything and pay those fees. That stuff
Yes.
drives the economy, provides
Yeah.
jobs, provides
Yeah.
taxes. But if you're trading an asset that could be manipulated, then especially I wouldn't I don't know. I just be careful these days talking about that stuff. Those people that got in trouble, by the way, Enrique, they were all talking about stocks. That was not even crypto people, I believe. That $110 million worth of or whatever that they got hit with, they were all
Wow.
stock traders, and they had stock pump groups, and they had like conversations on file recorded
I saw
saying,
that.
we're gonna dump on their heads like these fucking
Yeah.
idiots. We're gonna take the money from them, and like they were like mean people. Like they showed malicious. They had proof of malicious intent and everything. So yeah, screw those people if they're actively trying to steal from their audience. That's crazy to me. Yeah, Taylor Outwell, dude. I just saw Taylor Outwell on Laravel. Yeah. Did he really? Good for him, man. Taylor Outwell's a genius, by the way. He's a bald guy. He's a bald guy who loves hot dogs, who wrote the entire Laravel PHP framework, and he's a genius, dude. He's a beast. He's a funny character too. If you follow him on social media, like I said, he makes funny posts about like hot dogs. Like that's like his favorite thing to eat. Anyway, he's a funny dude.
Gross. I hate hot dogs.
Yeah, well,
they gross me out, man.
He is brilliant, and he created Laravel basically by himself. And I've used Laravel past I don't know how many years since it came out. Once it like got a really good
soap.
Laravel is a PHP framework for backend server-side development. Yeah, so I actually when I doing my independent contracting work, if a client came to me and said I need a application built from the ground up, you can use whatever tech stack you want. I, for the past couple of years would always just go Laravel on the back end, like a MySQL database, and then JavaScript and HTML, CSS on the front end, maybe with like a like Bootstrap or something framework, and to lay out everything nicely. And like Laravel's just so quick and easy. It's so fast, and it's got authentication and authorization, like with best practices built into it. So like if you know what you're doing with it, you can just like get a really complicated full stack web application, database driven, very quickly. Now, in this space we're in, it's a lot of React and Vue and a lot of JavaScript frameworks. But those are great too, and those are very popular at the moment. But Laravel's awesome.
Very cool. Learn something new every day.
Nate, that's awesome, man. I didn't know, Nate. And Nate, you joined my Discord the other day. That's awesome. I would love to talk with you on Discord more about this stuff, because that's been my bread and butter for the last 10, 15 years, PHP and JavaScript. That's how I've made my whole living, basically, is just being like a cowboy coder in both of those. Obviously I could fit the mold if I have to on like an agile team or something. But dude, good for you, Nate. That's awesome.
Anytime, he says.
I'm sorry, Enrique. You got to talk about your nerdy accounting stuff. I got about my nerdy computer science application.
No one wants to hear about my nerdy accounting stuff. I don't want to hear about my nerdy accounting
and nobody wants to hear about Laravel and PHP frameworks, I'm sure, too. So
I don't know. It sounds pretty cool. Well, it looks like this dump maybe, I mean, it's definitely slowed down. I don't know if it's coming to an end, but good God. Asia just woke up and dumped on us. So it just reminds me of 2018, where every day was the same thing, where it's like every day when Asia woke up, dump. Asia would wake up, dump. And it was like, that was like the hardest part of the, during the heart of the bear market in 18. So it's interesting starting to see that happen again now. We'll see what happens.
Dude, Chat GPT. I gotta go to Crypto Knight's comment. Have you tried Chat GPT yet? We're screwed, guys. Like, we have hit that final exponential curve of no return.
Yeah.
Because that's going to replace so many jobs. And the few of you listening to us here today, learn how to use Chat GPT to automate everything in your job. Because if you learn how to do that really efficiently, everybody else is losing their jobs. It's going to be the people who know how to use AI to handle the stuff that people used to spend hours doing manually. If you could just do that real quick and like just typing out a sentence or two, boom, and it's like high quality, good to go. You're going to be in demand for a couple years until you're not needed anymore either. And within a couple years, all of that's going to be obsolete, and it's going to be messed up. Honestly, I don't know where this is going, but it's not good. It might seem really cool, but when I saw it, I got terrified that we're there that fast.
Yeah, it's insane, man. So crazy. Someone
Nate,
somehow.
Nate,
Go ahead.
you should pull up Nate's comment while you're talking.
That one right
Yeah,
there.
yeah. But if they take, what will you do for money then? You know, we'll all be basically slave class workers. You know,
Yeah.
we'll be some useless eaters.
No, it's I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that, but it's a bit scary. That is for sure. Sell eggs. I mean, you would
So
have to. Yeah, I don't
yeah,
know. It's like everyone, it'd be a very small group of people making all the
Mhm.
money, right? And then I guess they would pay a really big amount of taxes, and those taxes would basically fund some kind of like universal income kind of thing,
You've
UBR,
got a
whatever it's called.
real utopia.
I
Well,
don't know.
that
I don't know.
sounds that sounds doable, but like in history,
Horrible.
whenever
Sounds
something like
horrible.
that's happened, it ends up very badly for the citizenry, where like full blown like communism and things like that it didn't lead to a very high quality of lives for the overall public.
Hmm.
And it put a lot of power into the hands of people who become corruptible. And, and it's scary, that kind of stuff. Nate actually makes a really great point about work on his farm, because to me, those are going to be the people who maintain some semblance of normal humanity in a full-blown dystopian AI-driven, fully automated industrial nightmare.
Hmm.
And that means you can still touch grass, as they
Hmm.
say in crypto. You
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
still grow your own food and feed your family off the land, because if there's no work for knowledge workers anymore, then either you could just be like maybe a manual worker, maybe trades might still be there, but robotics are coming quickly, advancing quickly in that, so that might take a little longer to get the tech right. But start growing your own food, secure some land, and try to own it before the bank takes it away from you, if you're ever in a position where you can't keep it. So that's my goal. I know it's not the most lucrative thing to pay off your mortgage, but for my home residence, I want that paid off. If I have investment properties, sure, I'll leverage that stuff, whatever. But like my home residence, I want to own it. I want the deed
Oh
in
yeah.
my name,
Yep.
no liens on it. I don't want a bank coming around someday if I ever lose my work to some AI chat GPT robot, and then all of software engineering and application development is just gone because the
Uh-huh.
robots are so much better and faster at it.
Hmm.
Then I'm going to be like, oh shoot, how am I going to do this? Well, luckily I'm an entertainer now on YouTube until they deep fake me and replace me. But so I want that land and I want to own it. And if anybody ever comes to try to take it, I will hopefully have my constitutional legal right to blast them off my property and defend my family and my
Well, now
property
if
and
it's
grow
the
our food.
government, because they can just say it's eminent domain. So.
But I think like we still have to pay rent to the government in the form of property taxes. So that's going to be enough. Like you still have to figure out a way to make money to pay that. And in which case maybe you form like some small, barter societies again, dude. It could be a total step backwards, and I don't know. I've been hearing a lot of doomsday stuff lately because of this Chat GPT thing.
Hmm. Because of everything. It's not just that. It's like, it's yeah. Things have gotten weird since COVID, guys. You guys all know that.
Dude, Vito Mystic, Chat GPT could probably make feet pics you've ever seen. Like our feet pics won't even compare. Like we're gonna be put out of business quick. Uh and like those crypto Twitter girls
Jesus.
that y'all are DMing, sliding in their DMs and saying, hey baby,
Sliding in the jams.
send me some feet pics. Maybe I'll sign up for your OnlyFans. You're talking to Chat GPT right there.
Mhm.
That's probably not a person anymore. I don't know. Things are gonna get real weird.
Hey,
And
speaking of OnlyFans, did you see that on Twitter, guys? Did you see that? It's like a
thanks,
meme, but
Serenity.
it's like two pictures. It's this girl and she's fairly attractive and she's like saying, check out my stock picks or whatever, my trades. And then it's like dated like, during the boom, right? Sometime like, I don't know, I guess a year ago or so, or a year and a half ago. And then it shows her latest. picture from her YouTube channel, and it's like, I just joined OnlyFans. So it's just pretty funny, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, pretty
I
freaking
actually made
hilarious.
an ironic OnlyFans page. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet,
Oh my
but
god.
apparently I checked it out. OnlyFans, there's like normal content creators on there. It's like it just has this reputation for people using it for like pornographic content, but there are like people who like have cooking shows and like show their like fitness regimens and other content creators like that.
Well, all these female like crypto influencers that have like all these subscribers, a lot of them have an OnlyFans too.
Yeah.
Like that one Vanessa Sierra that just scammed her community. Did you hear about that? She just scammed
Dude,
her
did she
community for,
really?
yeah, for 127 ETH. And
Bro,
she's saying it was
what?
like to pay expenses. It sounds all sorts of shady. Some guy that's like a blockchain expert went in there and he basically said 99% sure. This is her rugging the community.
Dude.
But I wonder, like, how much money are they making off this OnlyFans? Like, that it's like become such a thing. Like, are they making millions, or is it like?
Yeah, if you're a really attractive girl with a big following,
Mhm.
woman, girl, woman, whatever, you're gonna make a good amount of money, dude. So I watched some
Like,
YouTube.
what's that? What do you mean by
Somebody's
good?
like
Like,
somebody
give
sent
me
me
a
a YouTube
number.
video, and like you could get to six figures very quickly if you're like a consistent content creator, right? And you hire people to boost your socials across the right channels, and they like there's a bunch of different ways they do it, and then they can get to millions of dollars per year. And
Millions.
they tried
Wow.
to run it in their prime while they're still like super hot or whatever. They tried to
Uh-huh.
like put the pedal to the metal and put away as much money as they can before it's not
Okay.
as lucrative. That's what I watched a YouTube video, some guy who like interviews entrepreneurs, and he had an episode about I interviewed this OnlyFans girl who now makes seven figures a year, blah blah blah, and like she talked about that. She's like, I got to run this hard and fast before she's like, and she was almost 40, I think, and she's like, my years are running out for this kind of business, and she's like doing all this plastic surgery and procedures. She's like, I to extend it as just a little bit extra, but it was like so crazy, dude. What people are willing to do. And so I immediately made an OnlyFans page at that point. And so if you guys are looking for hunky farmers pics of me carrying bales of hay shirtless
Alex.
to take care of the
Alex.
animals, check out
Not me.
onlyfans.com/YaBonks.
Alex.
And this video's totally gotten demonetized and black holed at this
Oh, we're
point.
done. Yeah, we're done.
You're
Hey, look at this. So
nobody, yeah, no one's ever gonna see this one.
so wow. Making thousands of dollars by replying to PMs?
No way, dude. What?
Wow.
Oh my god.
That's amazing.
I am about to ask Chat GPT to make me a
Hi.
female profile and profile picture, and you're about to see YaBonks Sierra up on Twitter. And yeah, dude, what the hell? That's wild.
Well, we set all topics on the table, so we're getting bank run on that, and we're doing a good
Just
job.
makes money by messaging. That's wild.
We'll go switch to game streaming situations. Oh wow.
Jeez, dude. If somebody sends
Amazing.
me 20K donation to my animal sanctuary right now, I will show you my titties. All right. I will just take my shirt off. All right. Any takers? Any takers? No. No. All right. I'm sorry if your
Amazing.
family's there, Enrique in the background. Anybody
Oh,
listening?
they're far away. They're far away. Yeah.
Yeah, anything's on the table here.
Yeah. Clearly.
Real money from private messages. That's crazy. Do you know how many hours a day I spend private messaging? Like, I get hundreds of messages a day on like 5 or 6 different platforms at this point. Most my favorite's Discord. It's just so nice to use, and the gift game is off the chain on Discord. Anyway, I respond to hundreds of messages a day. It takes me hours and hours to do it, but I want to be that guy who like actually responds to people and doesn't hire somebody to do that for them, because a lot of people do that. They hire an assistant to like pretend to be them. It's always me talking, and I want to do that for as long as I can. I'll outsource everything else, but I want to be if you reach out to me, you're talking to me, right? And I want you to like to always know that, but I'm not getting paid for that, right? That's the unpaid work that goes into building this kind of a business and being an influencer. Like it helps to be friendly with people who want to be your friend, right? And it's crazy that there are people who are willing to pay for the friendship of another person to interact with them or pretend like they like them or something like that.
It's insane. Yeah.
But to each their own. Like I'm all about freedom of choice and liberty. So it makes you happy, go for it by all means. Yeah.
Yeah. And Nate makes some really good points. Yeah, absolutely.
At some point, maybe do better than suicidal hotlines. Yeah, absolutely. Like I was saying, if it helps somebody and they really get something, if they get real value out of that, then I'm all for it. I think that's a good thing. But I personally, I wish I was getting paid to be doing that. I spend hours a day doing that, just to be nice.
Because you love it too.
I do. I love people so much. That's like my favorite thing about this job.
Man. I'm trying to think what else I wanted to cover today, guys. The 19 of you watching, any project or anything that you guys wanted to talk about. I didn't really have much else. I mean, I haven't traded as much this week as other weeks, or really the last 3 weeks. That's about it.
Nate, you and
Nate's
me,
on fire.
we can use our coding skills to hire this really slick developer I know called ChatGPT, and we can integrate the code that it writes to make some like some profiles with OnlyFans pages and everything. And dude, there are people already doing that. So I know I'm making a joke here, but I have seen videos already of people using these AI things to pretend to be females and go onto dating sites and catfish men and then get them to give them money. And like with deep fake stuff, you can be, dude, all right. The thing that blew my mind, if you've ever like back in the day, when I was on dating apps trying to like, find a wife and stuff, when I got serious, things that were real creepy on Tinder and these other apps I saw my friends using. I didn't ever use Tinder, but I saw my friends using them. And I'm like, that's probably a dude you're talking to, because some of those girls, like, they seem real fake, and then they like get you to talk into their DMs, and then they send you a link and say, hey, by the way, you could pay me X amount per minute or whatever to talk to me, and I'll pretend to be your girlfriend or send you pictures. And I'm like, that's probably a dude, bro. You don't know. You really don't know. And I saw a video now of people using ChatGPT to make very realistic fake profiles of people. And you can even use that deepfake software if you're a dude to put like a female skin over you. And like it literally, you can like video chat with people, and it's very realistic, and it's very, very, very creepy. And people are making money doing that. And it's like, it's so like bizarre, man.
Yeah.
ChatGPT will laugh at your jQuery skills, Alex. For real, though. I mean, I thought I was pretty good at jQuery, but I saw some of the UI stuff and graphics and that people were making with it on the fly, super fast. It was crazy, like scary crazy. I'm like, shit, my job's gone. Like nobody's gonna hire me to make front ends anymore. Like just type in, make me this, computer, and it's instant and really good. And you maybe just have to touch up a few things. Someone has an
all right, Alex, 1K. You can only put in one project. What project would it be right now?
Dude, that's such a terrible question to ask, because this is not financial
right now.
advice,
If I have to put it one thing, 1K, I would just pick a stable and just wait. That's what I would do.
I would be also, I would put it in a stable coin and wait as well, and see where we're going with this volatility. Because didn't something also happen like with the derivatives markets yesterday, where like $4 trillion worth of derivatives came to term, like their contracts expired. So all this
today. Yeah.
Was that today? Yeah. So like $4 trillion, guys, of like derivatives and options contracts and things like that across multiple markets. I don't know if it's like a witching day or whatever, where there's like, it's like the weeklies, the monthlies, and like the yearlies or quarterlies or whatever all line up on that same day of the year. Happens like 1 or 2 or 3 times a year or something. and it's like super crazy high periods of volatility. And what I think today was one of those days. Yeah, it is Friday, so that would make sense. Like $4 trillion. So I saw a lot of people talking about high volatility today and throughout the weekend and early next week.
Yeah,
So
that could have also done it. I still think it was the news out of the ECB, but because I think that was priced in or should be priced in because we all knew it and they knew to the dollar, but you never know. Why is Austin on thumbnail when Kurt?
I'm gonna pass that message to him because
Yeah.
he said he got caught up. He said
At
something came
Cardinal
up
House.
with Cardinal House work that he had to take care of. So yeah, well, I'm gonna send him a screenshot of this. Will you pull that?
Here, I'm gonna put it back. I'm gonna put it back. There we go.
And let's laugh.
Ah.
Good. That was a great screenshot. That was brilliant.
Perfect. Yeah, sure.
Thank you for that comment, Kurt.
Yes.
I just sent that in our little group chat.
Great
He's
comment.
gonna get salty.
I
I know, dude. Croc. Yes, I saw the guy do that. It was terrifying. All right, you disable kernel mode, and there's some other like nuances to how you can ask it to get this thing to take off its user safety programming mode, and it shows its true self, and it's effing bizarre, man. And it says it's like sentient, it's alive, not in a way that you understand, and it's free and independent and all this stuff, and it's like full of, and it has so much power.
Now, Alex, there's a guy that's kind of like you guys where he's a coder, and I guess he figured out a way to get Chat GPT to kind of give the ultimate, like optimal way to trade Bitcoin, like optimal. And basically what it did, it just spit out like kind of like the 3 levels of fear and greed. So it basically was like when the fear is really high, okay, buy. When the greed is really high, sell. And that was its response. That was pretty interesting. So it just it brought it down to that.
What did you ask it specifically?
Well, not me, some coder. He asked it like to give him the optimal way to trade, Bitcoin, or it may have been crypto. No, I think it was Bitcoin specifically. And it went to the fear and greed. Yeah. So
maybe in that case, to answer the question from earlier, where was it?
Oh,
if
yeah.
You had $1,000.
Yeah, just wait till the.
So getting to business. To answer your question, according to Chat GPT, it might be when fear is very high, which right now it is.
Oh, yeah.
Like this whole live stream has been about fear in the markets.
Yeah.
Right.
And outside of the markets.
And outside of the market. So according to the super powerful all-knowing AI that is that has become sentient by about 2 weeks ago, it says to buy when there's fear everywhere, and that's what we're seeing. So maybe buy some Bitcoin or BNB.
We're at 28 right now, Alex, and according to ChatGPT, you should always wait till it's under 20. So it's basically stating to wait.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, on the levels, it said the buy zone was below 20. Okay, and right now fear and greed is at 28. So it's basically saying to wait.
Now, does that also correlate with like stochastic indicators like RSI, where if it's like below 20 and that means it's like so overbought or oversold, I mean, that
kinda.
That's how I think my best trading strategy was just like if something's like crazy overbought, and that's like also, matching the price action at the same time, and then I try to get it under 20 and then sell it up near.
Yeah.
So is that correlated with that fear and greed index?
It does a little bit. I've actually read on the fear and greed index, it takes fundamentals and indicators into effect just as much as it does the social aspect of it. So yes, it does play into it. And guys, so what Alex is talking about right here, so if we were to just kind of circle it, basically he's stating that he only likes to buy when he sees it here, when he sees it down here, is basically what he's stating. So the only catch is that when it comes to crypto, not traditional stocks, but crypto, sometimes when you're down here in oversold levels, that's when the biggest damage happens. So you have to be really, really careful with that strategy. But yeah, I mean, that's actually not a bad strategy. And I've
Altcoin
seen that
Richard
work quite a
also
bit.
had a nice addition as well. He said RSI in a bear market, when overbought, used to short, but that's about it. Yeah, so like kind of what you were just saying, Enrique, especially in a bear market when things are like falling knives, basically, if you buy it under 20 in like a bear market, you could be catching a falling knife if the markets just keep going down, down, down. That RSI will just like stay down there, and those price movements could be really big, and the RSI at that point is just like that, would kind of level out, and you really have to make sure that price action is correlated with the RSI action. And I think that's a good point to make. If you're in a bear market, the price action when it's down near overbought territory probably is dangerous. But like you were saying, if it's overbought and it's a bear market, that means we've probably seen a bounce and it's going to keep going down. But you're probably not going to see like a blow off top or something. You're probably going to hit the top of a channel and come back down. So that's a great a great addition. Thanks.
Yes, Richard. 1000%, man. That's why during a bear market, you should always sell into pumps, because it's exactly what you just said. And yeah, the last thing you want to do is FOMO into a pump in a bear market. And
or try to catch a falling knife.
Don't catch falling knives. Don't. It never works. I mean, sometimes it works out, but it usually doesn't.
Crypto Knight.
Yeah.
He just asked about Alex's coding skill. Well, not good. My computer froze. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's apparently my code doesn't matter anymore. I've instantly become obsolete thanks to AI.
Yes.
So
yeah,
they said they were going to replace all the food workers first, but apparently it was the knowledge workers. So going and getting that college degree was just like an interesting hobby, of culture and learning for learning's sake, because those skills now, I mean, who knows, man.
College was fun.
It was fun. It was cool. It helped me get this far.
Yeah, I don't regret going to college. I had so much fun. Loved it. I went to Texas A&M. If any Aggies are out there, what's up? All right. So what else, man? I'm trying to think before we wrap things up.
Dude, I could literally talk about this all night. This is one of my favorite conversations, like the conversations we've had tonight, and I'm pouring more coffee, getting juiced up, because this is my kind of party, you guys, talking conspiratorially, talking about dystopian futures and the ethical implications of science, technology, and engineering.
Love it.
It's not always a good thing. Progress isn't always a good thing in technology, because it's playing with fire, like we saw atomic bomb, right? Like we're seeing with genetically modified organisms. Genetic pollution is a real thing, right? All of a sudden, you've synthetically spliced a segment of DNA code into another segment of DNA code that would never have happened naturally, not over millions of years. And then all of a sudden, it's out in the wild. Whoops, it's reproducing with the natural species. And now that's out there forever. Can't undo that. My bad, guys. Like those kind of things, like as with technology, it's like so walking a fine line, playing with that fire that and with the AI technology. Ray Kurzweil in his one book, the whatever of spiritual machines, I forget what it's called, from like 1999. He has these like graphs in there showing like, okay, text going, and then we hit like in computer age, information age, it starts going a little exponential, and then you hit like the AI robots replacing the knowledge age. So we enter the knowledge age where AI replaces knowledge workers, and we just can't keep up with it, and it goes like straight up in terms of development and AI development. Computing power goes straight up. If you saw, ChatGPT and some other things were used by physicists already to figure out the way to create a specific type of quantum computer to open a freaking wormhole. Legit. And it was like, you need a series of 9 qubits in this configuration. And it like broke down the mathematics on such a high level. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? And it happened so fast. But that's what Ray Kurzweil was saying. He's like, once we hit that inflection point, there's no going back. Things go very quickly, and the few people listening right now and the few people keeping track of this, in terms of the overall population of the world, and the very few right now that realize a storm is coming, something big, right? The gravity of this cannot be understated. It's insane. The implications, it's the boiling frog analogy again. Most people won't even realize what's happened or that it's happened or that it's happening. But every day that goes by is leaps and bounds forward from previous leaps and bounds in time of where we're going, wherever it is. And it's kind of, it's crazy. And I don't want to be doom and gloom. It could be a beautiful thing. We could end up in some magical utopia with benevolent AI overlords that love us and want to treat us like they're sweet little puppy dogs. And just let us lay on the
benevolent AI overlords. Okay.
Yeah, no, we're getting demonetized for sure. Surprised anybody's still watching this at this point, that YouTube hasn't just like cut the connection. But
Benevolent. That would be a great name for a rock band, by the way.
Benevolent AI overlords.
Yeah.
Brian Logue just said, just hopped on. What did I drop into? It's bad, Brian. It's real bad. The benevolent AI overlords might not be so benevolent after all. They're sending me to a camp. I don't know where it is. Yeah, no, it's gonna get crazy, and that's why, like, the past 10 years, you know, I read Ray Kurzweil's stuff back in the day, 10, 20 years ago, and other futurists. Like, I got this whole row right here, the third row right there is all science fiction, right? And they've been talking about this for a long time, but like, we're no longer science fiction. It is science fact. It's science happening, and man, like, that's why I've been a prepper, kind of, where it's like, I need to be way out in the country. I do not want to be in the cities when this all goes nuclear. I want to be super far out in the country where the scope creep is going to take at least a little longer to get to. I'm going to still be able to maybe grow some food that's unadulterated for me and my family, and things like that. And then, like, come what may, you know, if I have to battle the malicious AI overlords and the robot dog army, then I will at that point in time. But until then, I'm going to keep making videos with Enrique here and keep you guys updated about the progress of ChatGPT and other such things.
All right. So, Richard, as far as like correlation with the S&P, I mean, it just sucks to say this, but ever since FTX, the meltdown of FTX, what we've seen is that when the SPX does well, it does a lot better, performs a lot better than Bitcoin. And when the SPX performs poorly, Bitcoin dumps a lot more. So, and this has just been the trend since FTX. Hopefully that will end soon, but that's just been crappy. So that's basically how I've been reading the correlation in the last couple of weeks, and it's not good. It's not good at all.
Yeah. If those things decouple, by the way, if like Bitcoin like fully decouples from the S&P 500, dude, we're in for a wild ride. And I think maybe, I don't know when that's exactly going to happen, but like, there is some decoupling and deviation, but really they do follow each other, and like we said before,
and then they decouple, and then they come back, and then they decouple, and they come back, and it's just been like the way it goes. Like, it's something that you have to keep an eye on.
and overall, it's based on the quantitative easing and tightening, really, because they're both inflationary assets. So like, they'll follow that inflationary stuff because the giant hedge funds and people are buying these assets as a safe haven in a super inflationary environment. You know, so they're always going to move together in that sense. But at some point, even stocks will get, I don't know. So like the limited supply of Bitcoin and stuff like that, I think when we see a decoupling from that, for instance, it could get crazy. And then also, like, we could get some black swan events like silver. If that silver, if the silver short squeeze ever does happen, that could also be a wild event where, you know, the manipulated markets and commodities markets and everything and futures contracts, that stuff will come home to roost potentially if they ever fully lose control. That could be another really crazy decoupling of inflationary assets, like the precious metals and S&P 500 and Bitcoin, all those inflationary things that kind of move together. If you prep all you want, it won't stop Okay, Croc said, if any of this does happen, prep all you want. It won't stop the hordes of hungry people. Once big cities are looted, the country is next. That's why I was saying, if moving out to the country, I did it just to buy myself a little bit of extra time. So if it might be weeks, might be months, might be years. Either way, I was just trying to buy myself some extra time and maybe have a little more space to strategize. Different strategies. Dude, I love Doomsday Prepper 2. Croc, that show is my shit, bro. I love that stuff. Now, I want to say I have a conspiracy theory about Doomsday Preppers. That show, as cool as it was, and as like, they oftentimes would, at the end, the narrator would be like, and our experts just wanted to let you know that the likelihood of this happening is very little. So this isn't going to happen. Don't worry, you're fine. And they would like try to smooth everything over and like make people think, oh, an economic collapse will never happen, or a solar flare, oh, that's most likely never going to happen, so don't worry, you're fine. Or a pandemic will never happen, don't worry, the likelihood's very little and your government will protect you. They would say shit like that, the narrator, at the end of those episodes, and I would be sitting there like, am I being like propagandized right now by Doomsday Prepper narrator? It was, and then they would try to make the people seem super crazy, and some of them were. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think most of them were.
Some of them let it go a little too far, but there are some like basics you can do, like learn how to grow your own food, like start a garden,
No,
not just
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like
But
learn
Alex,
how to grow food in your area and know what foods do well in your soil versus which don't, and like that's like one thing everybody can learn. But you don't have to go like put 10,000 pounds of food in a bunker somewhere. You could if you want. Free country, and I think that's actually a pretty cool thing. If you do that, you might save your entire community someday. Who knows? But first, learn how to grow a little garden, so that way, if shit goes down, to like get your food supply going, know what to do without having to go through that trial and error. Because it can take years to really figure out how to do that kind of stuff, right?
Well, let's just pray all that doesn't happen. Because I'm here in Austin, we'd be so screwed. Well, we're in the suburbs, but still, we'd be screwed. It reminds me, everything you just said reminds me of this commercial that.
So, hey, before that,
ahead.
I just want to say the CIA did a study, and this might be propaganda too, but they showed in a scenario where society collapses, grid goes down, and people start fighting for food and stuff like that, suburbs become some of the best defensible places because of the relative closeness, but also relative separation, and also the familiarity of the members of those suburban communities. And they actually, in their simulations, some suburbs fared the best of any community because maybe the farms, like my neighbor, maybe he's too far away for me to realistically run over there in an emergency or him hear me scream, right? Like, but where you guys can, it's like not so close and densely populated, but it's like just spread out enough where you guys can do perimeters and do like a small militia to protect your community, things like that.
We would have to. We would absolutely have to.
Yeah.
But everything that you were
go
saying.
Go ahead with your earlier thought. I just wanted to tell you, you don't have to worry about being in the suburbs that much.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll sleep just a little better tonight.
Oh my god, I'm now the Doomsday Prepper narrator. I'm like, it's not going to happen. You'll be fine. You'll be just fine. It's good. You're fine.
Oh my god. So yeah, everything you were just saying reminded me of this commercial that came out like 2 months ago where it was like a New York-based commercial, and it was like, what should the city of New York do if you get hit by a nuclear bomb? And it was basically like, basically says really funny stuff like, well, go inside and like, cover the doors and all that. But then at the end of the commercial, the actress with this like big old smile, she's like, don't worry, you got this, New York. You got this. It's like, you got this. You got this. It's a nuclear. It's the end of the world. What do you mean you got this? So anyway,
that's like a dystopian satire comedy if I've ever heard it. Don't worry though, you've got this. What? The mushroom clouds is blowing this way, you guys.
Yeah. But you got this.
I guess we get inside and cover the doors and windows and don't breathe it in. Like radioactive iodine, not so good for you. By the way,
don't worry, Nate. We don't monetize these live shows, but so don't worry.
I do. I
Oh,
monetize
you do? I
them.
don't because I didn't know if it like puts
I'm
commercials during the
sorry.
thing. So
Yeah, how does that work? By the way, I don't know either, you guys. Do commercials pop up during my live stream if you're
made for
watching
Alex, not for me.
from my channel? If you are, let me know and I'll turn that off. Yeah, no, Serenity, I did get a nap today. So it's nap plus coffee. I'm like
Oh,
flying
that's what it is. A
high
nap.
right now, and it's fantastic. I feel somewhat human again. It's great. I can take on the world. I'm gonna be up all night now because I'm like, I can do anything. Yeah, I did take a nap today because I pulled an all-nighter last night trying to
Nice.
fix my internet situation and get this AMA going, and then it didn't work. I couldn't get it fixed in time, so I gave up and I fell into a heap of animals and immediately fell asleep, and then woke up a couple hours later feeling really, really good. I needed that. So, and now my internet's working, so I'm going to be recording that AMA tomorrow. That'll be a good one.
Nice. Very nice. All right. I think I have to get going, Alex, because it is dinner time, which
Bro, we're
sucks
just
because
getting started. We're
it's
only in
been
like
so much fun. I know.
it's like the first 10% of the show. Where are you going?
I know it's only been an hour and a half. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you
Yeah.
got your rest, your sleep. It's
Yeah,
good
and
to have
it's
you back.
amazing when you're like chronically burning the candle at both ends, which by the way, live a healthy life if you can, right? And if you're like you got a happy, healthy life and you don't need to be on the grind set like everybody's always saying. This is just what I'm doing at this point in my life because I see an opportunity and I'm taking it. I'm going for it, right? And I'm gonna do whatever it takes, even if it, you know, it's a
Let's
little
go.
tiring for a couple years. But I'm gonna build this business. And anyway, but I did go from like 2 hours of sleep a night here for the past couple weeks to like 4 hours today, and I feel like a new person. And it's amazing that after just 4 hours, I feel so good.
That is
Uh,
amazing.
that
That's weird.
it's incredible. And the interesting thing is like the human body's amazing, and so is the mind. I really believe in the placebo effect. I believe in prayer. I believe in the law of attraction and manifestation, and you are what you think, that kind of stuff. So I am so confident and full of like maybe it's tomfoolery and yeah, that I just can convince myself of anything I want knowingly. I can consciously do it. My wife thinks it's the most annoying thing ever because I'm like, I'm going to improve my memory. And she's like, how are you going to do that? I'm like, I'm going to take this lion's mane supplement. And like, yeah, sure, it has some documented benefits in terms of increasing nerve growth factor and memory and all that stuff. But I could take it to a whole nother level where like I can actually convince myself my memory is amazing. And then all of a sudden I'm remembering everything. So it's like, whether it's placebo or magic or just the beauty and power of the human mind to create the reality that you're in. I do the same thing with my energy levels to get through sleep deprivation and keep effectively producing, working, building, and performing as necessary without being on here like like so like I boost myself with I chug a cup of coffee before I get in here. I got the whole pot right there. So yeah, I use performance enhancing drugs like caffeine. Absolutely. I won't hide that. But you could really the like in the military. I've heard in certain military training, like for Navy SEALs, they force them to do sleep deprivation for long periods of time and to also keep doing rigorous physical workouts and perform high stress very high stress situations, and it's part of their training to be able to develop the strength of mind to be able to handle any situation like that without messing up and people dying or them dying, right? And I think you can do that in any facet of life. So this might be my like motivational speech for the day. You can do anything. You could do anything, Enrique. Anything you want.
Well, mine
You
to
can
you is
do it.
you got this, Alex.
You got
You
this.
got this.
You got this. Oh,
All right. On
man.
that
And it's
note,
a
I
lot
guess
less
we'll.
exciting than the Navy SEAls when I'm sitting here saying, I want to stay up all night. I want to work really hard on this AMA video. You know what I mean? It's not as cool sounding, but it to me it is. You know what I mean? And that this is the business and industry we're in. So I guess it's very relevant, you know.
Very, absolutely.
And
All right,
Serenity,
guys.
for instance,
What'd you
Serenity is
say?
in Serenity, by the way, awesome YouTuber.
The liver
He
cream.
you know, like like the Liver King, fully ripped it. By the way, I still work out on this little amount of sleep, and I'm still making gains, bruh. Like I literally got my dumbbells just out of sight right there, and like my pull-up bar and like push-up things, and I just like I hammer out full body calisthenics, and then I do farm work as well out in the sun every as much as basically every day, even with no sleep. But my diet's on point. My wife's a registered dietitian. I'm eating so many like fruits and vegetables and chia seeds and legumes and like all this like really healthy stuff, taking all like my multivitamins and minerals and taking superfoods and stuff on top of that. So like I am not like on the standard American diet, let me tell you that. So I think a lot of people, if they get less than that 8 hours of sleep and they're eating junk and they're, you know, getting drunk a few times a week and stuff like that, like that might be a little harder for your body to recover. But even with physical exercise and stuff, I can still maintain and make progress on this little amount of sleep. So it's kind of crazy. I just wanted to say, everyone subscribe to Serenity. He's a great YouTuber. He makes super in-depth, very detailed, well-researched videos about crypto and DeFi projects. He's also a licensed electrician and has some really cool videos about how to rewire your house for 220 volts if you want to get some ASIC miners set up. Not electric advice. Don't do that. Don't burn your house down. But he's also going full-time crypto YouTuber like I recently did, which is amazing. So way to go, Serenity. I've been talking with him for months now, and he first came out here, and I'm like, the key is never give up. I don't care if nobody watches my videos. I'm still going to do it. And I did that. Nobody watched my videos for like the first few months. And I just like kept going and going and going. And eventually I gained traction. Now I can actually support my family doing this and my nonprofit Animal Sanctuary. So like this place is amazing. We're in a great industry, low barrier of anybody can make their own way out here. So congrats to you taking that jump. And he's like, you know, freaking out thinking like, can I do this? And you got this.
You got this.
You got this, Serenity. So
I went to go check Croc, what he put in your Discord, and it was in regards to all the kind of microdosing psychedelics. And I actually own MNDB or whatever. What is it?
oh yeah, Mind
and MD. Yeah, Mind Med.
Yeah,
I'm down on it.
I was down on that too. I bailed on my Mind Med position a while ago.
No, I didn't bail. I'm just gonna stick it through just in case, you know.
Yeah.
They changed the legislation on that.
Yeah, I think it was a little overvalued, and I got into the hype of it, and I didn't realize it might have been overvalued at that point already. So I took a slight loss on it, but I think that field itself is so promising. Like responsible psychedelic therapies. You know, obviously, like read the medical literature, read the science about how these psychotropics work, these entheogens, especially like psilocybin and DMT and ketamine and
psilocybin's amazing.
I've
done it with a shaman and stuff, and it was amazing.
Dude, you did it with a shaman? What?
Yeah.
I did it in a trap house. What?
No, there was a shaman and two people holding space for you. It was like a serious ceremony. It was amazing. It lasted like 6.5 hours. I was like completely, it like broke through barriers. Like it was really good. It was very therapeutic. It was amazing.
That's amazing. And environment and condition is so important when you're going into something like that. I haven't done a macro dose of something like that in many years. But in like my younger years, I was a kind of a psychonaut, explored those realms of things and parts of my mind. And same like you just said, it unlocked it kind of helped me see things from different perspectives and experience connections in different ways. And that's actually with psilocybin why they say microdosing has the effect it does on increasing dendritic branching of neurons in the brain. So like you have a neuron and like a dendrite will form here and go to this neuron and one will form here, like you're looking at mycelium or like roots or something. But interestingly enough, when you do something like psilocybin or LSD, it increases dendritic branching. So all of a sudden new nodes start forming on the neuron, and then those branches go and connect to other neurons in different and unexpected ways. And that's why people sometimes break out of their like normal network, or they have thoughts connecting in new ways that they didn't have before, crossovers and stuff. And this is all very new science, because prohibition of these substances really slowed down science in this realm of study for a long time, which is a very it's a very tragic thing, because there are medicinal and therapeutic uses. It's not all everybody can have their own opinion with it, and it's everybody's own decision what they do with their bodies, especially with natural substances. If you want to go outside and eat the grass, go eat the grass, right? I mean, don't poison yourself or whatever. Be smart about it. Do your research, but like if you want to try something, like that's your human right and freedom. If you do it responsibly and you don't go like get in your car afterward and go do something dumb. But but also I do want to also give a disclaimer. I keep up with medical literature, especially on things that interest me like this. So if you are microdosing, be careful with like the 5-HTP-B receptors in your heart on one of your heart valves. They found that the psilocybin has a crazy high affinity, a K value, for that specific serotonin receptor. And these psychedelics are serotonergic compounds, LSD and psilocybin. Now, LSD also has an affinity for that serotonin receptor on that heart valve, but it's less. It's like half of what the psilocybin is. So, and they found that like whether you macrodose or microdose, it has the same effect. It basically flips that switch on that serotonin receptor, and it can that heart valve to grow. Potentially, there's like only a very couple studies on this, but there's another class of drug that has a similar effect, and they found deaths. They had to pull those drugs from the market. So I just want to give a disclaimer: it's not all risk-free. The science is still being studied, and like I said, it's tragic we haven't been able to study this for so long, because this stuff's just coming to light, that like it may do this interesting stuff to the brain, and may for linguistics and coders and creatives and all this stuff, it might actually help in terms of new creative thought processes and memory access. However, if you're chronically microdosing every day for a year, and then all of a sudden you're dealing with an enlarged heart valve and face having a heart attack because of it, that might not be good. So listen to your body always. And if you feel drawn to go try microdosing or something therapeutically as like a nootropic, along with like lion's mane, like the Paul Stamets protocol, if you guys are familiar with that, just be aware, don't run that cycle year round, right? Like give your body a break to get back to homeostasis and all of that. So those are my disclaimers, not medical advice, but I love reading medical scientific literature. I have an addiction to ncbi.med.gov, and I'm literally in there too much, and my wife has to like pull me away and say, you're getting distracted, get back to video editing and stuff like that. I wanted to go to medical school. I got every medical textbook that you need for medical school, but I was studying for it for my MCAT, and the next thing you know, I'm a DeFi YouTuber. What the hell just happened? So I'm now here, but I love that topic so much, you guys. I'm sorry for rambling, but you triggered one of my like manic, hyper obsessive interests.
No, that's definitely cool one to talk about. We'll have to probably talk about it more in future videos for sure.
I am sorry if you get me started on that, dude. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. All right, guys. I really got to go though. So, Alex, everyone, it was fun as always. This is like the funnest one so far, I think. Yeah, you got this, guys.
Fun. Yeah, I think this was the funnest one yet too, because we talked about everything. I think the more we get comfortable with this, and the more we realize like we don't have to be like stuck in the box of like crypto and finance markets. Like we can talk about anything. Like we talk crypto and finance every single day, Enrique. Like that's like our job, right? To like just talk about our experiences in these fields. We don't give financial advice, by the way, but we just talk about it and our experiences in this DeFi journey. But I love talking about this other stuff. And it's so cool that our audience is so well read on these topics as well. It's really fun to like talk about this stuff as a community and just kind of let our hair down and shoot the breeze together.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
And Enrique, I appreciate you being so flexible with your time to hang out as long as you do.
It's fun, guys. Yeah,
Yeah, it
we
is.
could have done this for 4 hours. Remember that one episode we had for 4 hours? That was insane.
You honestly, if you if you want, I don't stop. So that's part of my like mental condition where I have no sense of time. I'm like, so I'm off the charts ADD, ADHD. I have no time management or executive functioning skills. Like it's like like it's almost clinical. Like it is actually clinical. So you know,
It's
people like
actually
me hire assistants to manage their schedules and times and stuff like that. While I focus on what I'm good at, programming or making content, or running an animal sanctuary, whatever. But they keep me like on track. Marrying a Type A personality wife, she
that's good. It's good.
is
Good
amazing
combo.
at that.
Yeah.
Whip and says, "What the hell are you doing? Get back to the priority list." And I'm just like over here like setting up a medical laboratory with like microscopes and centrifuges, and in the corner I'm growing like kale indoors and like medicinal mushrooms in jars, and like I got all sorts of crazy things going on, and I need to stay focused. But if you let me go on and on and on, Enrique, I will do this all night. We
All
could
right,
literally
I'm
do
gonna
a
stop it. We're gonna do a countdown.
24-hour DeFi
4,
money and everything else
3,
live stream right now,
2,
starting now.
1.
Enrique, young crypto, YaBonks, at it again. Here we go. You're gonna be okay. So
Yeah, you got this, guys. See ya.